For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
The island's infrastructure minister still exasperated by the delay of the Millennium Highway project. Also coming up in the broadcast, we'll be hearing from a particular member of Parliament. We go back memory lane and hear from former Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony regarding the contents of the impacts report and a whole lot more between now and 2 o'clock this afternoon. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, and that is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button. During the course of the program, I'll be hearing from you when you call at 452-2979, 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026, and she's all in red. Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. So when we thought we had heard enough pertaining to alleged extrajudicial killings in St. Lucia, this would have occurred between 2010 and 2011 at the height of an upsurge in criminal activity on the island. We are hearing a whole lot more, and also there is sufficient reason for us to say to the authorities whether you have done enough to clear St. Lucia's name, particularly in the eyes of the Europeans as well as the Americans. You would recall that the Americans decided to sanction the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, primarily through the Leahy Law, because the Americans felt that there was not sufficient transparency as far as several police killings and what transpired after that in terms of the outcome of the investigations did not meet the approval of Washington. And therefore, more questions were asked, and the authorities in Castries were requested to revisit those killings. This issue is still unresolved. And we would have heard from then Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony in an address to the nation in March of 2015, making reference to the part of the report which claims that the crime problem in St. Lucia is facilitated not by hooligans from the Mang and from other hotspots in St. Lucia, but by well-heeled individuals, prominent people in our society. Those who are supposed to be the elite, sophisticated, law-abiding citizens. Businessmen, politicians, policemen. We heard it from the mouth of then Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony. And of course, we've been hearing a lot of other things that we could not have substantiated, and also those were not worth repeating. But you know, in certain circles, people have their conversations, and this makes for very interesting discussion and listening. But let's listen to former Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony, part of that address to the nation in March of 2015, making reference to the alleged extrajudicial killings and what was discovered by the investigators.
Investigators report that all the shootings reviewed were fake encounters staged by the police to legitimize their actions. Further, that the weapons supposedly found on the scene of the alleged extrajudicial killings were from sources other than the victims. The investigators say that the weapons were planted on the scene of the shootings. The investigators also advised that a number of shootings were done by police officers and are listed on the murder statistic as being done by unknown assailants. Revealingly, the report suggests that, quote, the crime problem in St. Lucia is facilitated by corrupt politicians, government officials, business persons, and police officers, unquote.
Quite scary. But up to this day, somehow we have not mustered either the courage or the capacity to get to the bottom of this issue. And we just have to wonder, what is preventing our governments, relevant authorities, the police, getting to the bottom of what certainly will stand out as a major blotch on St. Lucia's reputation for a very long time. And I don't know what it will take. I don't know in terms of whose intervention will ensure that this comes to some kind of conclusion, because this whole thing is definitely in abeyance. And whether our inability or reluctance to deal with this and bring it to some kind of finality puts us in a bind in terms of seriously and holistically tackling the nation's crime problem. Because we seem to be scratching the surface, not getting to the heart of the issue. Because sometimes to deal with problems that are emerging, you have to look at it in terms of the solution from a historical standpoint. And maybe there are some lessons for us in terms of what has happened in the past, and a lot of those things apparently are unresolved. I don't know what's happening behind closed doors in terms of discussions this current Prime Minister and National Security Minister and the police might be having with the Americans, with the Europeans, but rest assured that there is need for us to get to the bottom of this once and for all, because it will only continue to haunt us. Because people are reading, and we have to ask the question again, and that, by the way, that's our question of the day. Why should or shouldn't the impacts report be made public? Why should or shouldn't the impacts report be made public? After all, some critical parts of the report, the contents have been revealed to the nation via the address to St. Lucians by Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony, and that would have been some 9 years ago. Is it a case where there's information that is too damning, incriminating, too sensitive, might cause some kind of explosion to take place in certain sections of our society? And the big question is, why undertake that report in the first place if you can't do anything with its contents? And if, as is being alleged, it was mishandled in terms of the information that was shared with the wider St. Lucian society. We are definitely facing danger, and I wonder whether the players, key players in St. Lucia, really want to resolve this whole allegation pertaining to alleged extrajudicial killings. Who would have been the individual or individuals who basically sanctioned the police, as is being alleged, to go out there and basically assassinate certain individuals? I don't know if you want to know, but I certainly want to know. I don't know if you're interested in having this matter satisfactorily resolved, but I suspect we need once and for all to address this, because there are some people in this country who are certainly thirsty for answers, and they want that thirst to be quenched. So as far as our question of the day, why should or shouldn't the impacts report be made public? Somebody says the report should be made public, providing the unredacted statements to allow citizens of this country to make an informed decision rather than relying on accusations over the years. Another person says, I need to read this report 2025, my tax money. Another one says, no, there is too much sensitive information that could cause many persons to lose their lives. ORC started as a venture to curb the crime situation, but persons use it to get rid of personal enemies. Then a comment, the impacts report is a public document and should be made public because it was paid for by taxpayers. Other reasons why it should be made public is because, one, the public has a right to know who these alleged crimes or criminals are that are walking among them, open in public in order to safeguard their personnel. Another one says, one of the excuses given is that releasing the report will have adverse effect on family members of the alleged criminals. That is no legal reason for not disclosing the report. 3, the public would know who to choose to represent them for elected office. 4, the public will be able to put pressure on the judiciary agencies to have these alleged criminals brought before a magistrate to enter a guilty or non-guilty plea, which is the minimum the American State Department is requesting to have the Leahy sanctions removed, and as a result, allow the police to get the necessary aid from the U.S. government. 5, the public will have or could have decided that there is no preferential treatment for those who these allegations were made against, and that justice is applied equally. Obviously, there are some matters that are pending that must be attended to. Otherwise, this issue will remain unresolved for a very, very long time. I don't think if the trend continues, this will ever be touched by any of the politicians, any of the prime ministers, any of the governments. The police are afraid to touch this, and it would appear that they want it to remain in the unresolved section. Unresolved. Millennium Highway. Another headache for this administration. I mean, we're just ordinary individuals, citizens, hoping that we get financial assistance from friendly countries to embark upon certain projects. And we have the responsibility to supervise those projects and to play some kind of role. And we know that there are certain circumstances that could hamper such initiatives. The inclemency of the weather is one, the shortage of labor and materials and so on. But along the way, considering that we know a lot with regard to certain peculiar challenges in our country that we would say face, and in the case of the Millennium Highway, would have completed that project within a reasonable period. Over 4 years. Over 4 years, and we are still grappling with this, and we continue to hear the same excuse from our minister with responsibility for infrastructure, and feigning exasperation, pretending to be so concerned and, to be so troubled by this project, and giving the contractors a particular timeline by which to complete it, only to revisit this timeline, give them extra time, and hoping at some point in time the project will be completed. So the infrastructure minister was at it again during the pre-cabinet press briefing on Monday. It was the same old story. Exasperation, concern, frustration over this Millennium Highway project. Let's listen to it.
It is one which has frustrated me quite a bit in terms of the pace at which that project has been going on. And there are persons who are directly involved in the project who must answer to the media and to the general public of St. Lucia. Because the problem with the project is that the project is not funded directly by government. The British government gave St. Lucia a grant of somewhere in the vicinity of 42 million US dollars to do the Millennium West Coast Highway. The grant was channeled through the Caribbean Development Bank, and all of the conditionalities set up in terms of how that should be operated. The government signed the agreement as a gift, and the bank more or less monitors and to ensure that all goes on. There is a consultant engineer who is responsible for the implementation of the project in terms of methodologies, etc., design, etc. They designed the methodology is being dictated by the consultant engineer. There is a project office, coordinating office, providing the necessary support, and of course the ministry. So much of what is happening there is being done through the project office and consultant engineering, and of course under the supervision of the Caribbean Development Bank. But the pace at which it is going is absolutely frustrating. And therefore, we need to mount the pressure to ensure that this project gets completed. The most frustrating part of it really now is the fact that we are seeing some signs of completion on Millennium Highway. But every time you see that some progress is being made, then there seems to be some regression in terms of what has been laid down and does it meet the specifications of the consulting engineering firm, etc. And I'm hoping that it can be gotten right in terms of making sure that we get this project done once and for all. It's too long. It's over 4 years going on with the project. And of course, the West Coast Road with the other contractor. We see, I noticed over the weekend that they're advertising for positions on the road. That's over a year. Only now advertising for truck drivers and engineers, etc. on a project that was awarded over 4 years ago.
But are there no actions that the government can take, I guess, to...
Well, we are reviewing the agreement. We are reviewing the agreement to see what course of action that we can take. And once there is a window of opportunity, whoever is in the way will be a casualty. Whoever is in the way will be a casualty. But we're looking at the agreement, the contracts, and the agreement generally.
Reviewing agreement, review. That review will never, ever end. General election will come and go, and we'll still continue to hear this infrastructure minister making reference to reviewing the contracts for that project. And the SLP hacks, at least some have criticized Mr. Stevenson King. They have even concluded, but maybe it's a setup. He's dragging the project maybe to cause the SLP to lose the next general election. I don't think that's the case. It might be a couple of other things. But you do not get the cry in unison from the St. Lucia Labour Party regarding what St. Lucians have been put through because of the inordinate delay in the completion of that project. It is because, of course, Mr. King is serving within a cabinet of the St. Lucia Labour Party. And for how long we must stomach this. We have a West Coast Road project, and if the precedent has been set, then what definitely can we expect as far as the management of that project? It is just the norm. Everything in this country must drag. But you know, there's some individuals who would like to tell you that we are making strides. We are making tremendous projects. How do you we're making tremendous strides and recording success? Can you record the level of success with regard to that Millennium Highway project, which has been a sore point, a headache for so many people? Can we make a determination as to the impact, the anxiety this has caused road users, the damage to so many vehicles? And we are supposed to just conclude that as far as its stewardship is concerned, that government has exceeded all expectations. I heard somebody saying today, female, in Creole, the achievements of this government, they are unprecedented. And we must do everything that is possible to ensure that not only the St. Lucia Labour Party remains at the helm, but also Philip J. Pierre remains the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. So share your opinion. And we all have our opinions. Some is based on facts, some is based on emotions, but there's something called reality. And I wonder, from your perspective, what your reality is. We take your calls right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And some people are already commenting in the chat room. That's via YouTube, making reference to the quality of roadworks in St. Lucia. And somebody says there, every government has the discretion to release what it chooses to release or not to release. A report that is not a court document can be released to the public without redaction. Accused persons have rights. All right, we have a call via WhatsApp. Let's see if we could put this call on the air at 716-2026. Hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Timothy.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Mr. Ellis.
To you yes, you know, I'm becoming a popular caller now these days.
Very much so.
Timothy, Timothy, a tortoise will tell you that he's making tremendous strides, you know. Let's understand this. A tortoise will tell you he's making tremendous strides. Don't interrupt him. Listen, Timothy, everything that minister has touched is going the speed of a tortoise. I want to talk today to St. Lucia about the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission. I'll tell you why I'm talking about this. We have a situation at the NTRC since the new board that had replaced the board under my chairmanship. It is headed by Mary Polius, and everybody know Mary Polius, Heath Mondesi, Oliver J. Lawrence, Jerry George, and a lady called Shanna Willie Matura. That's the 5 commissioners that's appointed to set policy for the National Telecommunications Agency. That commission was appointed by Stephenson King, the minister, the same tortoise minister. Now, what has happened since that board has been in place is that the board has not been able to hire a chief executive officer. In other words, a manager for that agency. If they did, it was just for a month. But could you imagine that in a place like St. Lucia, where we have so many qualified people, for over 2 years, the NTRC commissioners could not hire somebody to manage that agency. Rather than doing that, they have stayed there travel the world, travel every time there's a trip to go all around the world. You can hardly hear them in St. Lucia. And they've been micromanaging that agency. Now, here is a problem that we are experiencing today as telecommunications people. The staff, who is a great staff, cannot issue licenses, cannot proceed with the work of the NTRC because the term of the board has expired and the board and the staff have no manager. So the NTRC is virtually headless at this time. The board, the commissioners, the 5 commissioners have been micromanaging that agency for the past 2 years. Now, it's a shame when we have so many qualified people in St. Lucia, they cannot find somebody to appoint as a CEO that at least during the term of the expiration of the board, the work of the NTRC will go on. What has happened, Timothy, is that there are people who have applied for licenses for radio equipment and other related equipment that cannot get cannot get their licenses approved in the shortest possible time, which is already taking long. And the answer given by the staff is that there's no board and they cannot take decisions. And Stevenson King and his permanent secretary, if they knew that, they should know that the expiration of the board after 3 years, they should have had a new board ready to go into place. Or the old board should have been extended for some period of time so that their licenses, people's equipment are sitting at customs, and I know that for a fact, and customs cannot release the equipment until the licenses have been approved by the staff, who cannot give them the release note to customs. This is totally unfair. This is what is happening in St. Lucia right now. Everything under the infrastructure minister is delayed.
This is not only unfair, this is unprofessional, and this is, the highest manifestation of incompetence. Because
that is right.
Somebody's project is being put on hold, and it is because of inefficiencies in the system. That's nothing to do with them.
That's right. So I know this for a fact, that because I was in touch with NTRC this morning, and they cannot do anything because there's no board, there's no manager, and the staff there are not authorized to give permission to customs to release the equipment because the licenses is pending on approval by the commissioners who are not in office at this time. Their term has expired. This is the way St. Lucia is going. And this is sad. This is sad when you have a minister telling you that he's working at breakneck speed. Breakneck speed. The speed of a tortoise. And he should know that. So I'm just bringing it again. I've sent you notes many times before on this. This has been going on for a long time. There has been no manager for 2 years. You can check it out. And a lot of people know this, but a lot of people are afraid to say anything. And this is sad what's happening in St. Lucia. And the customers now waiting. And the staff cannot even tell them when they will get a new set of commissioners if the commissioners are changed, and when they will be able to get their radios out of customs, which is accumulating rent. So it's making it more expensive for the importers who have had their equipment come from all around the world and sitting at customs. That is why he's working at breakneck speed, Tim. Have a good day, sir.
You too, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Turn my attention now to Amanda, and let's find out what's happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, team. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. A few comments from earlier. Someone says, why can't the impacts report be discussed in Parliament, where all the members have impunity and will be unable to be prosecuted, unlike if they do so publicly? Another comment, all governments since the release of the impacts reports are complicit in giving cover to the alleged criminals. During campaign, they said they would make the reports public, but once they got into power, they rescinded on the promise to do that. That makes them guilty and complicit. Another comment, and up to now, years later, we have not demanded Kenny Anthony support his claims about the facilitators of crime in our country. Someone says, why are we paying for reports that we cannot access or read? Another comment reads, fear is the main reason why no government will get to the bottom of this impacts report.
We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Yes, Tim. I want to ask Tim, do you agree with me? Because I believe that the entire country has collapsed. All functioning ministries, the economy has collapsed. Do you agree with me on that?
Well, it's not a case where the entire country has collapsed, because obviously you have a number of institutions that are functioning, but they're functioning at a subpar level. And we must stop getting used to operating at such a level and believing that we are going according to world standards. So we don't have anarchy, but we have a breakdown in various aspects of life in the country.
Well, Tim, I gladly happy you said that, because my observation is that from all the allegations, from the Bonanza land to the 1.4 billion that is missing, to the hospital in Beaufort that has not been accomplished yet, to the bad roads with Stevenson King coming and says working at breakneck speed, I strongly believe that an early election would have been the most respectable thing to do, and the entire cabinet had to resign. But like Rick Wayne said, we have a United Workers Party who are a bunch of cowards, and they're not doing the decisive things that they said they were going to do. For example, when Richard Frederick came online and said he had thousands of files, and Alan Shastney said, I believe this man should resign or else. We're supposed to be already on the streets protesting, Tim. I strongly believe we're supposed to have our nets, our camping bags to sleep at Constitution Park. The road's supposed to be blocked. If the bus drivers don't want to get on board, the taxi members don't want to get on board, there are enough people, the youth of the country are dying, and I know the youth will get on board. And people might say, well, why not one person go and start a protest? We never had a history of a single person starting a protest. It's always the political parties igniting those types of protests. So I'm calling on the United Workers Party to let them know that there are people on the ground who are ready to start the protest, who are ready to let those guys call an early election, and that we can have an interim government, and then from that interim government, we can call a fresh general election. And if the people want SLP back in power, they will put them there. And if they want you to repeat, but they will put them there. But the way things are going, it's going that we are going to a state of anarchy. And by next year, we'll be in anarchy. We are already in anarchy in different places in the island. Have a good day, Tim.
You too, sir, and thank you so much for calling. Some more comments in the chat room, Amanda?
Someone says, KDA, what did you do? You just left the situation alone to fester, and now it's well embedded within our highest offices, and no one wants to touch it. Tout moun paie, and they know why. Another comment reads, release the report in its entirety. We've had too many allegations over the years. Allow the people to make their own decisions on the findings. Another comment reads, it's a case of who the report is pointing at. And this is the fear that the authorities, including the Department of Justice and Commission of Police, are living with and will not act on these reports. Comments replying to the Minister of Infrastructure, someone says, King should give up that position now. Too many excuses, no results. Someone says the government said 2024 was the year of infrastructure. It's apparent that our roads have been in a more deplorable condition. We're now in 2025 and it's the year of accountability. With the responsible minister saying that he's doing a good job, we really are not ready in St. Lucia as a people to hold these politicians' feet to the fire.
452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. We'll have another update from Amanda in just a moment. But first, a call on the landline. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air.
Yes, good afternoon, Steve.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
All right. I've realized for a while now.
Caller, you'll have to speak directly into your phone. Could hardly hear you.
Sorry, hold on. Yes, all right, sorry.
Yes, sir.
I've realized for a while now, and it's getting worse. The parking in St. Lucia when it comes to the little communities like, for example, Mondidon, Lapansé, and these areas, I believe by now the authorities should realize that something should be done about these people parking so badly on the roads.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes so difficult to maneuver, and they don't even consider closing the mirrors sometimes, or they do double parking and all of these sort of things. I think by now, I just want to bring a message to the authorities. Right now, they should realize that something should be done or said about these dangerous parking in St. Lucia. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that's very true, caller. Because if you're driving along those roads there, what would pass for a road? It is very risky, and not many people can drive properly on those roads that are so narrow. Then you have garbage trucks. They have to use those roads as well. You have the emergency vehicles. If you have a fire or somebody seeking an ambulance, they have to traverse those roads that are quite narrow, almost dangerous. And the authorities must ensure that before they find themselves in a situation where they are desperate, when they have to maybe go and maybe remove the vehicles, etc., that they put various measures in place so that the double parking, caller, that you made reference to will not happen in the first place. There's need for us as a country, as a people, as a society to be proactive. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. St. Lucia Shooting Association presents its Independence Day tournament on Sunday, this coming Sunday, the 23rd of February. And the event starts from 9 o'clock in the morning at the Bordelais Shooting Range in Dennery. Well, to qualify, you must register, and registration fee is $100. To register, contact 717-6846. That's 717-6846. Food and drinks will be on sale. Make this a family day. Come one, come all. And once again, that is this Sunday, the 23rd of February, the Independence Day tournament organized by the St. Lucia Shooting Association. And registration costs $100. And to register, please call 717-6846.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidboutet at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucelec is transforming how you move. With our new electric vehicle charging stations, getting a quick and reliable charge is easier than ever. From Rodney Bay to Dennery, Vieux-Fort and Soufriere, we've got you covered. Our cutting-edge network offers both fast and standard charging options. Convenient, efficient, and always ready when you are. Just download the Flash Charge app from Google Play or the Apple App Store, and with a few simple taps, you can set up an account and link it to a credit card. Find a station or scan the QR code to start charging in seconds. Lucelec is powering your journey and driving us toward a cleaner, greener future. Charge ahead with Lucelec's EV stations. Lucelec electric vehicle chargers, powering progress, energizing the future.
Taco Thursday Thursdays at Senior Snapper from Thursday, 13th February 2025 and every Thursday.
St. Lucia, your Thursdays just got a whole lot better. After work, there's only one place to be. Taco Thursdays at Senor Snapper Seafood Grill and Margarita Bar.
In Cruzley Town, that is Marie Therese Street.
Live DJ, fresh tacos, and island vibes. What more do you need? Tacos for just $10 plus 2-for-1 margaritas and mojitos to keep the good times flowing.
Thursdays is Taco Thursdays at Senor Snapper.
For it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Are you tired of going from doctor to doctor, spending time and money, yet still not getting the answers you need? Now, at La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, we bring you the latest in medical technology, our state-of-the-art radiation-free full-body MRI. With unmatched accuracy, we can detect illnesses early, giving you the answers you deserve and the treatment you need, saving lives and saving money. No doctor referral needed. Results in just 24 to 48 hours. Plus, a free consultation with a doctor to explain all your results in detail. Don't wait. Take advantage of this special offer and book your full body MRI at our Cocoville, Rodney Bay, or Castries locations. Call 451-6559 now. La Clinique du Corps. Your health is our priority.
Essie, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Butay. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world, where we continue with your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. I'm sure many of you would have heard about an apparent incident which occurred at a particular establishment, a hotel in the islands north, yesterday afternoon. As we speak, at about 18 minutes after 1 o'clock, police are on the scene carrying out investigation. My information is that one shot was fired by a former employee at that particular establishment, and this incident occurred just about 4:30 yesterday afternoon. So as soon as we have further information and confirmation regarding the circumstances and the outcome of the probe by the police, we'll be able to share some of that with you. In the meantime, let's continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages and, of course, the discussions in the chat room. We have a call on the landline. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, today the guys having the, how they call that, the town hall meeting.
Yeah.
But the problem I have, Tim, this woman they murdered, the woman that have 3 children.
Alana.
Right. And you have a minister representing the people of Babono. You know how many young people that have children And a number of the young people telling me, boy, it's so sad to see how the young lady gone down with her 3 children. And we have a minister in government. And you're talking about the Andre Seelys and others. And the minister, as a woman in the cabinet, in the government, she ain't coming out and saying nothing. What about this woman that always come in and defend the government? Miss Joya, or what they calling her. You're not hearing a word, not a word from them people. But this afternoon or tonight, they're going to have a town hall meeting to get the people vote. I call on the people, island-wide, to not to vote them people. Because there's no law in this country to protect the very own people they come in and have the meeting for. And instead, they try to make life easy for the people. Groceries going up, tourism going up, but tonight you'll come in and have town hall meeting? In my opinion, these people should never attend that town hall meeting in protest of the young lady that died. Not a word from Virginia Albert Poyot. And I have a problem with that, to see the young lady leaving her job, okay? Trying to make a living, to put food on the table for her 3 children, and she was gunned down in the streets, in the Corinth area, and not a word from them female ministers and those that are supporting the party. But the only thing they could tell you, you know, everything is well. We don't even have a hospital. And Philip JP as Prime Minister, I believe you have failed the entire country. You and your cabinet, you should resign. And resign immediately. Or else it will be worse for you at the ballot box. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling. Just to add to what the caller just said there. We have a gender affairs minister. And on International Women's Day, we have the gender affairs minister would be making pronouncements, issuing statements. You have various bills, legislation being enacted pertaining to women and violence. And she would be boasting in Parliament the achievements of her ministry, etc. On this particular occasion, I don't know whether she's overseas or if she's, well, I could imagine she's in St. Lucia right now, if she'll be at that particular event this evening. And if she would have been overseas at the time that Alana Bernard was slaughtered on the streets at Corinth, considering the technology now readily at our disposal, through a voice note, through some telephone interview, she certainly could have lent her voice to the many individuals in this country who expressed sorrow, who lamented the manner in which this woman lost her life. Up to today, I have not heard anything from the island's Gender Affairs Minister, Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot. And politicians will do whatever they believe will be tolerated by you, the people of this country, people of this society. And I could tell you, in the likes of Barbados, your Jamaica, Trinidad, etc., this would not be tolerated, the serious dereliction of duty, the glaring dereliction of duty on the part of the minister. Because let's imagine her being in opposition and being the shadow minister for gender affairs, she would have issued a statement already condemning this heinous act. Let us hear from Laura Japierre of the opposition UWP during that Sunday live broadcast. She spoke about the attacks on women and made reference to this either famous or infamous incident which occurred almost 36 years ago when Mary Ratcliffe was decapitated. Let's listen to her.
Over 3 decades ago, Mary Ratcliffe's murder was supposed to be a wake-up call for us in St. Lucia. A mother, a daughter, a sister slaughtered. Her children left to suffer. Her memory left to be nothing more than a tragic headline. The system failed her. The system failed her then, and all these years later, it has failed women again. This time with Alana Bernard, brutally executed in cold blood. She was not just a name. She was not just a name. She was a mother. She was a friend, a woman with hopes and dreams. She deserved to live. She deserved to live. She deserved better. But in a country where criminals thrive and justice is a fantasy, who is ever truly safe? I want you to think about this.
Laura Japierre of the opposition United Workers' Party speaking during the UWP's Sunday live broadcast, and that is on Sunday. We continue to lament violence in St. Lucia, the occurrence of violence, and in this particular case, attacks on women. And we continue to hear the refrain, the police cannot be everywhere. And we agree. But don't you believe that those who are in authority can display some kind of empathy? And this has been sadly lacking, it has been missing on the part of this administration. I don't know if it is a ploy or a strategy that if, for example, the likes of the Virginia Albert Poyots of this world were to come out and issue a statement and express concern about the murder of the mother of 3 children, Alana Bernard. If you get a photograph, you could show it to our audience in case you have missed it. That this is a 27-year-old woman in the prime of her life. 3 children gunned down under strange circumstances. And we will do everything to get to the bottom of this. You have the passion only to protect the victory. And she'll be mounting a platform this evening. Pay very close attention. So Laura made reference to this incident which occurred in 1989. Mary Radcliffe. Her head was severed by her then, I think, boyfriend, father of her children, or husband. I'm not too sure if she was married to the guy known as Shaka, Sylvester Jean-Baptiste, his Christian name. And as we normally like to say, this sent shockwaves throughout the society. 1989. We are not become so inured to tragedies of that nature. And courtesy of the series Untold Stories by Dale Elliott, in April of 2020, he had the series St. Lucia's Most Wanted, and we extracted a clip from that series, part 2 of that series. And he spoke with the son of Mary Radcliffe, Llewellyn Radcliffe, because he is claiming that at the time of the incident in 1989, which he witnessed, he was only 10 years old.
Well, it was around 6 o'clock in the morning. She woke me up and she told me, handle the flower pot that's inside the house to give son. While he's handling the flower pot, I just see a white thing just come down. And then when I watched she fall, when I watched behind her, I saw a pool of blood start shooting out from her neck. When I watched through the side of the window, I see Shaka. He tell me I next, so I start to scream like a little girl. Then my uncle was living in that house over there. I passed through the gallery and ran through the front and started screaming his name. Then he come out with a cutlass because the way I was screaming is like something was wrong. He came out with his cutlass right away. From there, Shaka just ran up, go on the road, cut up through that hills, vanish. Never see him again.
Just heard there from Llewellyn Ratcliffe, the son of Mary Ratcliffe. And this clip was courtesy of the Untold Stories series, St. Lucia's Most Wanted Part 2. And this film was aired in April of 2020. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages at 716-2026, 716-2026. And Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room in just a moment. Somebody says that, Tim, it takes one to start. One drop of water can cause a flood over time. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Well, Tim. I don't know today whether I should laugh or cry. Wow. But let me begin by asking you, why do you doubt King is, like they say, setting up the SLP government for failure?
That's because I don't have the evidence.
Huh?
I don't have the evidence. I can't pretend to know.
One told me something very important in a very important matter.
Mm-hmm.
He says, Rick, especially in politics, perception is everything. When you have a general perception...
So perception can cause you, I agree, perception can cause you to win or lose an election.
Exactly.
But it's not based on facts.
Or live or die.
Yeah.
Or live or die. Let's make it stronger. Perception is where everything begins to. You think so-and-so, you think that's so-and-so, you saw perception. That is why it is of extreme importance that when there is a perception that goes contrary to what is expected of good governance, then good government does everything it can to straighten out the facts, to set people's minds to work and get people to be enthusiastic about their country and moving on. When people are depressed about their country, by whatever, especially crime and murders without resolution, the people end up walking dead, Tim. Bakase and everything else. You know that Bakase expression?
Yeah.
Which proves to you that, again, I'm pretty good at my Creole. So the impression was, and it was being said for quite a while, that King sabotaged Guy Joseph and sabotaged the Chasney government by dragging his feet on everything, right?
I remember.
We heard that.
Yes, I heard.
And the interesting, for me, these ironies are amusing. That despite the Labour Party itself was criticizing King for his apparent laziness, for his apparent inertia on everything, he's late for every bloody meeting, etc. The Labour Party used to talk about that, putting down the United Workers' Party for having a bum like that as a big-time minister. You remember that?
I can recall.
But when it came to absorbing him and making him one of them so that they're one and all the same, there was no hesitation. So this business of one party knowing where all the bones are buried with regard to a particular minister or politician, and then out of convenience forgets all those troubles. You know, I am reminded of Bob Marley, "Forget your troubles and dance."
Yeah.
And that is almost an anthem. But when you take time to study that, it takes on a different meaning, you know. Forget your troubles and dance is what we're doing here. We forget our troubles, all the troubles we have. No jobs, horrible roads, a murder every other day, all those things. But we dance a lot. Don't we, Tim?
Of course we do.
We are given every excuse to dance by the very people who are crucifying us. Something is sick with a St. Lucian DNA, though. The very people they're complaining about, who don't pay attention to them, who starve them out, who are nepotistic, who all those horrible things. Let those people call a dance and see how many people are jumping in that dance.
And that is even being used as some kind of distraction, it's deliberate distraction. So you have independence, forget about all the other issues that are affecting you as a people, as a society, and dance your way out of those realities. And then get ready for what? For Easter, and then get ready for Carnival, get ready for jazz, etc. Let's revel in those things.
And we join in, Tim. The point is we join in. Forget your troubles, and dance is in the DNA of black people. And people are afraid to say these not so pleasant things. We like to, the Americans are complaining about that, that for a long time, and perhaps even now, in fact, recently they've been talking about it after Lamar's performance, that black people are still seen in America as entertainers primarily, and we perpetuate that myth. So, more things change, more they remain the same. That dead already. I am so pleased to be still around to hear the impact report, and those people were shot down like dogs with no resolution. So how many years later from 2011?
You're talking about 14 years.
It ain't dead at all.
14 years.
It ain't dead. It comes up for your throat every now and then. Nothing you can do about stopping it. It's the law of nature. And of all people to resurrect. You know who resurrected this?
Who did?
The housing minister resurrected it when he spoke with such intimate detail on the assassination of Arthur Clarke. That is what has brought it to life again. And we are seeing
the Arthur Clarke homicide is not directly linked, or it does not pertain to the impacts report at all. It is not featured in the impacts report.
The Arthur Clarke report is not connected with impacts.
It is not featured, as far as I'm aware, it's not featured in impacts.
You're very wrong. It's in all that same period, okay?
No. It's not part of the investigation, Rick. That's what I'm saying. It's not part of the investigation.
What investigation are we talking about?
We're talking about impacts.
Tim, take my word for it. Arthur Clarke, Betty Clarke.
No, but those
what do you think?
But those were not alleged extrajudicial killings, Rick. That's what I'm saying.
But what do you think Montoon was reading last night?
No, I'm not saying
That's
to
what
you.
Montoon was reading.
Arthur
you have
Clarke,
a clip of it?
Afu was not killed by the police.
Anyway, I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah.
When you get into your clip, if you play it, you will see what I'm talking about. But in any event, Betty Clarke was talked about, Arthur Clarke was talked about, and so on. So it certainly resurrected, whether or not you want to accept they were part of the episode. It certainly resurrected the impact situation, didn't it?
It did, but it was not directly associated
with... Well, you're directly, indirectly, that's
with alleged extrajudicial killings. It was not.
Maybe I'll have to call you back and connect and make the connections for you. Even it's the period we're talking about.
Okay.
Even one or two of them were not investigated.
Mm-hmm.
When Kenny Anthony came into office, there were other killings that could have gone into the impact thing. He just didn't put them in. Okay, all these things happen in the same period. But the important matter is that the statement by the minister about how these people died, and the details given is what has resurrected the impacts report. And the impacts thing remains undead. It remains undead, but my surprise is how people are acting as if they know nothing about it, when in fact Kenny Anthony read 2 speeches to the whole world. To the whole world about those extrajudicial killings. There are the speeches there of what he read. There are the videos of what he read. But a lot of your callers are acting as if this is the first time they've heard about it, Tim. And that is why I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I want to say this, Tim. Pity the nation whose people are sheep and whose shepherds mislead them. Pity the nation whose leaders are liars, whose sages are silenced, and whose bigots haunt the airwaves. Pity the nation that raises not its voice except to praise conquerors and acclaim the bully as hero, and aims to rule the world with force and by torture. Pity the nation that knows no other language but its own and no other culture but its own. Pity the nation whose breath is money and sleeps the sleep of the too well-fed. Pity the nation, oh pity the people who allow their rights to erode and their freedoms to be washed away by country tears of the sweet land of liberty. I'll let others call on.
Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Can you credit the author? Who wrote this?
Oh, that is attributed to Gibran.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution as usual. Just so there from Rick Wayne, one of the ordinary members of the NewsSpin family. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Still to come some more calls, some WhatsApp messages, and of course we'll be going through discussions in the chat room and what a government minister has to say to a group of young students.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus takes charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
NewsSpin is transforming how you move. With our new electric vehicle charging stations, getting a quick and reliable charge is easier than ever. From Rodney Bay to Dennery, Vieux-Fort and Soufriere, we've got you covered. Our cutting-edge network offers both fast and standard charging options. Convenient, efficient, and always ready when you are. Just download the Flash Charge app from Google Play or the Apple App Store, and with a few simple taps, you can set up an account and link it to a credit card. Find a station or scan the QR code to start charging in seconds. Lucidac is powering your journey and driving us toward a cleaner, greener future. Charge ahead with Lucidac's EV stations. Lucidac electric vehicle chargers, powering progress, energizing the future.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
St. Lucia. It's time to celebrate 46 years of independence with a big deal from KFC. Introducing the KFC Independence Big Box, packed with all your favorites for just $46. You get 5 delicious undipped wings with 1 sauce, 1 zinger or big crunch sandwich, 2 pieces of chicken, 2 regular fries, and 2 refreshing 16-ounce sodas. Perfect for sharing or keeping all to yourself, because independence is all about choice. But hurry, this big deal is only available from February 1st to February 28th. Get your Independence Big Box today, only at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Are you tired of going from doctor to doctor, spending time and money, yet still not getting the answers you need? Now, at La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, we bring you the latest in medical technology, our state-of-the-art radiation-free full-body MRI. With unmatched accuracy, we can detect illnesses early, giving you the answers you deserve and the treatment you need, saving lives and saving money. No doctor referral needed. Results in just 24 to 48 hours. Plus, a free consultation with a doctor to explain all your results in detail. Don't wait. Take advantage of this special offer and book your full body MRI at our Cocoville, Rodney Bay, or Castries locations. Call 451-6559 now. La Clinique du Corps. Your health is our priority.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Interesting. Just got a flyer there featuring the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Cannot confirm, but it says their address to the nation, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, February 18th, 2025 at 8 p.m. So if the press officer, the PR people of the government, I know they are listening and they're watching and monitoring this broadcast, please confirm whether the Prime Minister will be addressing the nation this evening at 8 o'clock, because just received a flyer indicating that this will be done, that the Prime Minister will be addressing the nation this evening at 8 o'clock. But I do not have confirmation thus far. Okay, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's see if we have a call on the landline. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin on the air. Hello. Okay, we lost this call. What's happening in the chat room? Amanda, any comments there?
Someone says we should move away from the idea that every elected official deserves a portfolio in government. Some politicians are just that, politicians, but not every politician can be a good manager, etc. Now the comment reads, those crimes have not yet knocked on their doors. If it were to happen, then you would hear their voices. Another comment, the way those women in politics are behaving, we will not have a female prime minister anytime soon. Someone says they are silent because it's more important to protect the victory than to stand with and for women who form the larger part of the populace.
And Patu is on the line via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon,
Hope all is well with you guys in there.
Good afternoon to you, Patu.
Yeah, Tim. I will start by they had promised me things would be easier, things would be better, things would be cheaper, and I haven't seen that. I don't know if it's because I have an eyesight, my eyesight is gone, I haven't seen it, but I still haven't feel it. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, it is worse than before. You understand? It's over 2 years I've been calling that program, and not only your program, and I'm making complaints about health care. And we are hearing it all over, people calling, you know. And I'm saying this to say that I have all my situation. And remember last time I told you about the prostate thing, and I get a cure for it, right?
Yeah.
But still on my doctor prescription, every time I send my book, the doctor would just prescribe it, okay? And it's over 4 months. I cannot get that tablet. That tablet they prescribed for me that will help me to urinate every night. I would have to take one. 4 months I cannot get it. But as I tell you, it's a good thing. I don't need it either because I get a cure for my prostate problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
But supposing that's what I was depending on. That's what, because I'm hearing people are calling me all over. All over, people are calling me on different complaints. Those that want to urinate and under the belly is hurting them. Those that have that bag on their side, the catheter.
Mm-hmm.
Those that waking up and peeing 6, 7, 8 times in the night. Those that the prostate is just growing in there. Whole heap of complaints I'm getting. You know, I think I'm getting more complaints than Musa. It's Musa himself, of course, that in charge of the health thing.
Yeah.
You know, and nothing in there. All I'm getting is a little painkiller, a little something. So I'm just saying, if all the promises, things would be easier, things would be better, things would be nicer, things would be cheaper. You know, I'm the most ready. I'm telling you, last time I was listening to the guy that said he was going up for before together with the other lady. And when he said, while he was choosing the two of them, he said, I am the most ready for the candidate in view. By the time he said that, I almost get an attack because this is a kind of wood I don't want to wear. It causes like a nightmare, and I don't care whether you are flambeau, labab, as I had most ready. Most ready is a sickness for me because that's what I heard before, you know, and depending on it would be better, and look at what we are facing today. You understand? Tim, I will leave it as that.
Thank you so much for calling.
You've got hold it a little.
Okay,
Tomorrow somebody will be calling you, and they will be telling you something about me. I don't want to break down the news today.
Okay,
she will be calling you from the States, okay?
All right.
So you take care. Yeah, all the best.
All
okay,
right, take
bye-bye.
care. All the best to you as well. 452-2979. We have another. Okay, we're about to get another WhatsApp call. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. Hi, hello. Can
Yes,
you hear
sir. Good afternoon. Loud and clear.
Okay, let us be brutally honest. Are we capable of governing ourselves?
Hello. Okay, we lost the caller. Maybe he will call back. We are waiting your contribution as always, sir. So maybe you can call back and we will entertain your call. In the meantime, I think he's calling back. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. You're on the air. Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, the mother is saying we have to be brutally honest if we have to solve the problems facing us. Are we capable of governing ourselves? 46 years since independence, we do not seem to be getting anything right. Or are we incapable of determining who should be the best leaders for our country? And one statement made by George Odlum in Fuller Show, maybe a long time ago, maybe in the 80s. Should we be allowed to vote? Thank you, Tim.
All right. Thank you so much for calling, sir. That was very controversial. Let's talk about whether everyone should be allowed to vote, as we achieved through adult suffrage. Let me see if I could go through some of your WhatsApp messages. Somebody says there, okay, via WhatsApp, let me see there. Somebody says that, Tim, can the last caller who spoke about prostate state his number again? I need his number, thanks. Another WhatsApp message, somebody says, if this flies true, then the agenda this evening is jam-packed, starting with Babuno's Town Hall, starting at 6:30 p.m. But I am yet to receive confirmation as to whether the Prime Minister will indeed be addressing the nation this evening. So we hope before we conclude, we can get confirmation from the PR people in his office. All right, let's see what's happening in the chat room. Amanda.
Someone says they have yet to recognize their place in the highest office to represent. Another comment, this speaks to the very same people that were crying out against the former government on the criminal situation, the healthcare situation, the unemployment situation. Now these are the very same people forget their troubles, and these are the very same people who have forgotten their troubles and are dancing with the government. Now the comment reads, our society is at risk and those in authority to do something about it turn a blind eye. Crime is taking root and our children are in this country dying to senseless killings. Another comment, Rick has single-handedly been keeping that Kenny Anthony summary on the impacts report alive in our consciousness. Another comment reads, just remember, when the people fear their government, it's tyranny, but when the government fears the people, there is liberty. That is all I'm saying. A few comments from earlier. Someone says our special prosecutor appears to have a relaxed approach to his mandate, so we the people need the findings of the report to make an informed decision. Another comment reads, the King, the DPP and the special prosecutor and other elected and appointed officials have one thing in common, and that is giving press releases that tell us little to nothing about solving anything. Another comment, what was the rationale for giving that foreign company Malpropto that contract to rehabilitate the roads? And someone says here, after going on to 5 years, you have not satisfied yourself as the contents of the contract to know whether there is an action that can be taken against the contractors by the government. This is an abdication of your responsibilities and it's unacceptable, sir.
We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
How do you do?
I'm all right. How about you, sir?
Well, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know, Tim, I didn't get the start of your show, and when I joined in, I was hearing the voice of Stephen King, and I wondered for a moment if, you were absent today and he was hosting for you, because he sounded more like what a talk show host would say, as opposed to a minister responsible for infrastructure. How about his frustration and blaming people, Anyway, that is the MO of the St. Lucia Labour Party, and that is typical of Stephen King. But Tim, I called in because I listened while yourself and your honorary caller, Rick Wayne, were talking, making reference. I don't know if you saw my show last night, Tim.
Yes, I did.
But yeah, I in fact put on screen a copy of page number 30 of the impacts report. And Tim, Rick Wayne is actually right. Arthur Clarke, which is AFO, was in fact mentioned in the impact report. And if you go to page 30 of the impact report, you will see that direct reference was made to him. If you don't mind, Tim, I can actually read a line. I did not read that line last night.
Yeah.
What I read was the fact that Betty Clarke was his sister. But before that, I did not read that part. But I can just read a line to you. A review or investigations were conducted in the matter, and it was revealed based on credible evidence, documented evidence in the form. Sorry, you have to forgive me, Tim. I'm reading from a phone.
Okay.
Documented evidence in the form of statements recorded from witnesses, and they gave the numbers of the witnesses. Yeah, but okay, let me go to the next paragraph that makes direct reference to Arthur Clarke. Arthur Clarke was a Don in Graveyard who was shot and killed on the 29th of January. Okay, in the gardens, castries. According to reports by the police, it was done. According to reports by the police, it was done by an unknown assailant. I will not go any further, Tim, but I was just reading that to indicate to you that, in fact, reference was made to Arthur Clarke and his murder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
But Tim, before I leave, let me just say, I'm hoping that I heard you said it's unconfirmed that the Prime Minister will be addressing the nation possibly tomorrow.
No, this evening. It says...
This evening? Okay, possibly this evening.
It says the 18th.
I'm hoping it is not more of the same, a wasting of people's time with the same kind of, subterfuge and the kind of, trying to pull wool over people's eye. I'm hoping that he will come out seriously this time, not laughing at us, but to address some of the salient issues of the day, especially the issue of crime in this country, in particular, the issue of record murders in St. Lucia. I'm hoping he's going to address this, and is going to look at it from all angles, starting from the very top and looking from within his own cabinet, and let people know exactly what it is he's going to be doing about some of the recent developments that we have had. For example, one of his cabinet ministers, Richard Frederick El Kwapo, making reference to an unsolved murder of the individual who just mentioned, Arthur Clark, indicating that he has knowledge and details that he claims to be facts about what exactly happened during that murder. I called on the Commissioner of Police and I've called on the Prime Minister. I'm hoping his address tonight will respond to that call, and I'm hoping that the Commissioner himself would have by now called in Richard Frederick to give evidence and to provide them with answers on that unresolved murder, given the fact that he has so much intimate knowledge of exactly what happened. I don't know if he was there. I don't know if he was involved. I do not know how he knows, but he has publicly stated that he has indicated rather that he has information by stating that he knows that Rush Clark's mother was implicated in the murder. That's a very damning statement, and that cannot just go like this. Given the environment that exists today, Tim, with all those unsolved murders where criminals feel that they can commit crime and then kill people with impunity, we have to take this situation more seriously, and it must start with the Prime Minister, who is also the Minister of National Security. I thank you, Tim.
All right, so thank you so much for calling. You just heard there from the PRO of the opposition, UWP, Mr. Leonard Spider Motut. Let's see if you have another call. Hello, via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You on the air?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Mr. Tim, I don't call your show for this new year, but what I call to say today is that I wish you, or I asking God to give you more life, my brother, and your whole family. People like you, the most monitored talk show in the world. We need you. So, Mr. Tim, I'm praying for God to continue blessing you, my brother, and give you and the lady that there more strength, especially you. And my blessings is a powerful blessings. Mr. Tim, a wonderful new year, my brother. Okay?
All right, sir.
All right.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Right, let's see what's happening in the chat room. Once again, we're trying to confirm whether the Prime Minister of St. Lucia will be addressing the nation this evening. So you folks in the office of the Prime Minister, the press secretary to the Prime Minister, maybe if you care to, you can call, because we really need to hear from you on this occasion in particular to confirm whether the Prime Minister will be addressing the nation this evening. Comments in the chat room. Amanda.
A few comments read, beware of those who are most readied. Someone says, so the SLP government failure equals we aren't capable of governing ourselves. A comment here from Peter Chico reads, Tim, I heard someone ask me to call yesterday to share my experience about the special prosecutor. Tim, what I can say is that the office was not thought through by the SLPs and my filing exposed them. But you are the hardest show for me to get. I will keep trying to get you though. Another comment reads, SLP government giving Lucians battle in their tail around the island and they dancing in the streets while taking it. Another comment, someone says here, he gave details leading to the murder so we all can speculate. Another comment, I hope people will speak like an intelligent PM for people to understand what he will be saying. Another comment, someone says here, those of you all expecting the PM to address silent points and present concrete plans to address the crime situation, the continued misbehavior of Richard Frederick, the incompetence of Stevenson King are suffering from... Okay, I do not know what that means. And that's it for me, Tim.
452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. In just a moment, we'll be concluding with our NewsSpin news of the day. So stand by for that as we continue our broadcast right here on Power 97.9 FM and also on the NewsSpin Facebook page. Let me see there if I could go through. Let's see if we can have a call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Call via WhatsApp. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, good afternoon to you, ma'am.
And good afternoon to your viewers. This is Marcella Johnson.
Yes, good afternoon to you.
Okay. I would like to express my deepest condolences to the family of Alana Bernard because this is an unexpected loss, and my heart goes out to everyone who really loved her. She was brutally murdered just a few feet outside her home in broad daylight, and this is heart-wrenching, such a heinous crime. And she was also a rape victim. And her tragic passing, Tim, is a reminder of the vulnerability that too many women in our society are facing. Crime is such a serious issue, and it affects the safety and the well-being of our community, and that needs to be addressed urgently. Too many lives, Tim, are being lost to this senseless violence. When we do not feel safe, it affects every aspect of our lives, our physical health, our mental health, our economic opportunities, and even the freedom to move around our very own neighborhoods. Addressing the crime means tackling the broader issues of poverty, unemployment, education, and mental health, Tim. And when we address these issues, we create a safer environment for everyone. Tim, just think about it. Have you ever come across a woman who has been raped? The aftermath for the victim is horrific. A woman must first get a report to a police officer. She must find herself at a police station with all the mess, torn clothes, bruises, and more than likely, she will encounter a male police officer at the counter to be interviewed. That woman has to relieve the victimization over and over to law enforcement officials. This is dehumanizing and traumatic for the victims. And do you know that it is illegal to carry pepper spray in this country? A basic defense mechanism as simple as pepper spray, which offers protection, is illegal. So most women are sitting ducks in this country. This is our harsh reality. Alana was a mother of 3 young children, all under the age of 10. And her children now have to face a future without their mother. And that is something no child has to endure. Devastating. I am a mother, and it is heartbreaking to witness another mother losing her daughter and children losing their mother. No parent should have to bury a child. Let us just pause for a moment, Tim, and reflect on this tragedy. Just pause and imagine. What if it were your daughter, your mother, your family? Imagine the pain, the loss, and the helplessness they must be feeling. We cannot allow this to continue. And what is even more heartbreaking is the silence. The silence from those who have been entrusted with the responsibility to protect women. Who is protecting our women and children? We have heard nothing from the Minister for Gender Relations. Nothing from the Minister for Equity. Nothing from the NGOs that receive funding specifically to safeguard women from violence. Their silence is deafening and unacceptable. The absence of leadership and accountability in times like these is a betrayal of every woman who has suffered in silence. We cannot continue to go about our lives as if it is business as usual. We must demand change. And that is why today I'm calling on all women and the good men in our society to raise their voices. We must speak up and demand justice. We must demand better protection for women. We must push for stronger, more effective processes in our justice system. Crime is not just a policing issue. It is a community issue. It's not a women's issue. It's a human issue. It affects families, children, and entire communities. Men must also take a stand. We need our fathers, brothers, and sons to say, enough is enough. Enough is enough in this country. Tim, I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to express what I'm feeling about this entire murder of Alana.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your contribution with us. You just heard there from Mrs. Marcella Johnson, who is the United Workers' Party candidate for Grosile. Let me see if I have any relevant WhatsApp messages to go through. Once again, we are still trying to get confirmation as to whether the Prime Minister will be addressing the nation this evening. And let me turn my attention now to our NewsSpin News of the Day. The NewsSpin News of the Day reads, European officials reportedly now view the U.S. as an adversary. European officials reportedly now view the U.S. as an adversary. And finally, let's hear from the Minister with responsibility for local government and MP for Castries Central. You had the Independence Battle Relay taking place earlier today, and he addressed a group of young students.
I ask you in growing up to instill very positive attitudes in yourself. Do not let children that go astray lead you astray. If they want to join a fight, don't join with them. Do not do anything bad to make yourself unable to be successful down the road. Listen to your teachers because they don't hate you, they are there to guide you. Listen to your parents because no parent hates a child that he or she gave birth to. So I ask you, when you see a friend of yours is going wrong, pull them and tell them, brother, do not do that. Because a lot of times our future is shaped in our childhood. And like we always say, whatever we sow, that's what we end up reaping. Be kind to others, even if they are not kind to you. Because when blessings come to you, it's through the kindness that you show and not what is shown to you. So even if they are not kind to you, be kind anyway.
Just heard there from local government minister and MP for Castries Central, Mr. Richard Frederick. So it appears that this is true, that the Prime Minister will be addressing the nation this evening at 8 o'clock. So once again, the Prime Minister is scheduled to address the nation this evening at 8 o'clock. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.